Hello and welcome to General Opinions, and today I'm doing my first ever gaming video on 007 First Light. I was so hyped for this game. The combat looked clean and creative, the graphics looked incredible, and the story looked like it's been ripped straight out of a 007 film that never happened, an origin perhaps. But playing this game has been genuinely amazing. It's been a true spy experience. You really feel like you're 007 running through these missions, taking people down exactly like he would. In this video, I will be trying to complete the whole story and getting every achievement in the game. Hopefully, getting the platinum trophy at the end. We start off the campaign with Bond's first field training experience. He is definitely going to be thrown straight into the deep end, and this is not going to be a normal training experience for Bond. On the way to the training, Bond's plane experiences a little bit of turbulence and crashes off the shores of an island. Honestly, this was a crazy way to start the game, by throwing us straight in, from saving James from drowning, to then throwing us straight in with the gameplay seamlessly. James finds himself alone, cold, and injured. He slowly makes his way down the coast in search of any other survivors. Spoiler, he is the only one that has survived. They give poor James no time to process, as he is still in danger. This is where they introduce the stealth mechanics into the game. If the AI sees you, and they aren't dumb, they will kill you. After sneaking past around like 100 guards, and his own radio baiting him out, we finally make it to a place to rest. James tries to radio into his base for help, but guess who takes control of his communication and the mission? MI6, baby. We're slowly but surely becoming a spy. The MI6 handler tells James that they need his help, and that there's a base nearby he can go to, and those are his only orders for now. As James literally has nothing else he can do, he follows those orders and finds the base. We are working on like a need-to-know basis for now, but James goes to the base anyway. We don't really have much of a choice. This was not an easy journey. We find that the island is completely covered in soldiers, and even our way there, we realise that, I guess, James Bond, like other characters, just can climb and jump and parkour like he's an Olympic athlete. We finally find that base that she was on about, and the title card for the first mission appears. Against the odds. How very ironic. After some more rock climbing parkour, this game actually surprises me. The classic, the main characters climbing and the edgies climbing on breaks trope. Nope. James falls all the way down the cliff and right into the base, just throwing us back into the action. James then eavesdrops on two guards that are in the base. This is a massive gameplay feature that I love, by the way, and finds out that there's MI6 explosives dotted around the base. Bet that won't be used later. Then James slowly makes his way into the base and sneaks through a conveniently placed window and finds a conveniently placed coat. Once James puts on his fluffy warm coat, one of the guards comes straight in and confronts him. But James easily deals with this situation by speaking to the man in Montenegro. We can't forget that this is James lock-in Bond we're dealing with. The MI6 handler tells us to look for some clues to see who these guys are, but we're already one step ahead. Finding evidence is a massive part of this game, as there's about 1,000,000 different ways to do different missions, and it all depends on the right intel. After being Sherlock Holmes for a while, James puts on his balaclava and heads outside, blending in on some fucking Hitman shit, and continues to look for clues to see who these guys are. These guys aren't fucking around. They have military grade equipment and MI6 intel. They knew we were coming and they were ready for us. After finding loads of evidence pointing to who this group is, we run into a little vehicle problem and decide to lend a hand. Once we collect enough evidence, the MI6 handler realizes who this group is, the Arrowhead Gang. Honestly, it sounds like a terrible name for a terrorist group, but honestly, what do I know about them? Anyways, this group is known for not leaving any witnesses, and as a current witness to all of their crimes, I'm kind of nervous. But as if it couldn't get any worse, the MI6 handler wants us to go into the giant big tent to see more of what this group's up to. James doesn't even hesitate and head straight towards the entrance to the tent. As we make our way through this biosphere, we start to not feel so hot. As we get to the center of the crash site, we start to feel the effects more and more. The MI6 handler tells us to look for an OBC on the inside of the crash site, but it has already been taken. Before we have time to look around to find it, two men in hazmat gear come through the facility. Noticing that they are in hazmat gear and we are not, James understandably gets a little worried. The MI6 handler tells us that we have been infected by a nerve agent, and we need to go through the red door and find the antidote. Brilliant. If James's day couldn't get any worse, he might actually die again. Luckily, James doesn't die, and somehow has zero side effects from any of this nerve agent. He jumps right back into the mission. As if James didn't have enough problems to deal with, he runs into the Arrowhead gang with hostages. James decides to follow to see if he can help. I don't know if James has a really kind heart or is just doing this for the love of the game. But either way, by the time James actually ends up catching up with the hostage, he's already been shot. Now, this is what I'm talking about, James. You have no consideration for the fact that you are in mortal danger. Nonetheless, when James finds out that there are other alive hostages, he, despite the MI6 handler telling him he has 1% chance of success, that is more than enough for him. This is our first slice of 007's gameplay and the overall gameplay loop. We start up high so we can actually scout out a good path, and honestly, I'm not really used to this form of gameplay. I've never played Hitman other than like 2 missions at a friend's house, but little did I know that this gameplay loop would become second nature as I progress through this game. Starting off, I used all of my Assassin's Creed experience to slip past a couple guards without being seen, and find my way to my first victim. I used a stealth takedown to get rid of him, a method that I will definitely be overusing throughout this playthrough. Before I move on, I grab a cute little postcard collectible. Sadly, I can't use the gun on the floor as it's bio-locked, but I tell you, if it wasn't, this mission would play out very differently. Anyways, I moved out of the door, somehow no one saw me or heard the door open and closed. Moving past them, I find my first environmental trigger. I don't know if that's really what they're called, but it's what I'm calling them. We cut the brakes on an ATV and distract everyone so I can easily sneak past and go straight into B4, where I'm instantly face to ass with another guard. We easily take him down and free some of the hostages. James finds out that the guy that he just took down was the guy with the detonator, so the Arrowhead gang can't really blow up the base anymore. It's not all good news as we find out that there are more hostages in G9. We get given the detonator and leave to save the other hostages, and also come up with a big distraction to get everyone out of this place. Luckily, there is a convenient ceiling ladder that magically drops out of the sky. From the roof, I scout out where G9 is. I then climb off the roof and sneak past a couple guards, but then I get a little overconfident on a takedown and get spotted and sent to the respawn screen. See, I wasn't joking, these AI really mean business. After I respawn, I think of a new plan. I climb back up the ladder again, but this time, after jumping off the roof, I jump down into a trench to get past everyone without being seen. Luckily, the trench leads directly to G9, but unluckily, the door on that side is locked. Guess I'll have to make my way round to the other side. Along the way, I find another environmental trigger and send a car directly forwards. Honestly, it didn't really help me in my mission, I just wanted to see what it'd do. Once I get to the other side of G9, I find 2 guards. I decide to try and take one down stealthily, which didn't go well. I think the other guard saw me, but he kind of just said nothing and just stared directly into my soul. Maybe he's just confused where his friend is. I end up rushing him and tickle his face with my knuckle a couple times. I then sneak into G9, take out another guard and free the last group of hostages. For some reason, these people doubt me, but little do they know I kind of not really have a plan. I make my way all the way back to B4, and then back on the roof where I started. I swear, James is really getting his steps in. Maybe I should have gone to G9 first. Oh well. We put our plan into action and create a distraction. Just a little one though, I don't want to hurt anyone. James then launches on his escape, landing an epic barrel roll as he calmly walks away. Once we jump through a window, we're launched into a cutscene. We see some of the hostages escaping, but a thug from the Arrowhead gang spots them and aims his gun at them. Before he can get a shot off, Bond tackles him to the ground. While they're cuddling on the ground, James somehow fires the thug's gun and unalives him. This is the first time James has killed someone. Kinda. I don't know if those guys back there died, but nonetheless, James has no time to process this and has to keep running.
This set piece was so epic. So much chaos is going on around you, and James stays locked in the whole time. He takes out a guy on a quad bike and then uses it as an explosive battering ram to take out another car, and then acts like nothing out of the ordinary happened. Even after that, James sadly runs into a dead end. With his only choice to save himself and all the others, James threatens that if they don't stop, he'll blow up the island. They think he's bluffing, but he's James Bond, and of course he's not. So he blows up the whole island with himself on it. Honestly, wow, that is one way to start off a campaign. It really gives you a good overview of the entire game and definitely leaves you impressed and wanting more. I want more. More missions, gadgets, and please, more combat. This isn't my normal type of video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, show that support by giving it a like, subscribing, and let me know that you guys actually want this to continue. I'll see you guys next time.